Hello, everybody, and welcome back for day 6 of Unrelatable to Unstoppable series. My name is Sara Oblak Speicher, and are you ready today to talk about showing up in life, at home, at work, in relationships, in ways that carry out that fire in your belly? Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And we'll be talking about 3 main obstacles that I see my clients and my friends and my colleagues, including something I went through myself, that are actually preventing us from there. But before we dive in, again, if you're new to this series, if you're new to my community, welcome. I'm so excited that you choose to spend your time with us and share your energy and attention. This series was inspired to help unconventional women leaders to rearrange all the pieces, to unleash that magic of their power so that they can transform their lives and do it all without wasting the time that they already don't have or trying to squeeze into places where they no longer belong. Sounds familiar? Well, then you're in for a treat. So the first five, actually, this is 6. First 5 videos are live somewhere around this one on my newsfeed on LinkedIn, Facebook, on my blog on the website, makeyourlifealegacy.com, as well as on YouTube. So wherever you get your content, chances are you can find this series. And as I promised, let's dive right into the first 3 things that usually hold us back. And then we're going to talk about how to dissolve them so that you can, as we promised, carry that fire in your belly attitude as you go through your life on your mission. Sounds good? All right. Number 1 that is very prevalent, especially with women leaders who, at least clients of mine, most of them are also very loving, devoted moms, dedicated homemakers, loving and supporting partners and leaders in their communities, business owners, C-suite, you name it. The one thing that they don't have is time, and they would love to have more time. So being busy at one point is a legit reason why you can do certain things. And then at one point, it simply becomes a convenient excuse, especially in a society where being busy is equated to a status symbol. And I say that with the most love and affection and respect, but being European, that was one of the hardest things that I still am not used to, even after 18 years in New York, that you have to schedule an appointment with somebody 3 months in advance and you get that 45-minute slot before they go next to their next thing. And I really missed that slower lifestyle when, you have the time to have a conversation, you have the time for yourself, when things are not just go, 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 go. And it's kind of a catch-22, because how do you slow down when so much is expected of you? And then how can you fulfill all the expectations when you're lacking the time to really be at your best, right? When you're just a shell of yourself. So if we debunk a couple of myths about busyness, I think that would be a pretty good place to start, right? Well, first and foremost, I'm afraid to disappoint you, but not being busy has very little to do with color-coded Sharpies and color-coded schedules and assistants and chauffeurs and pre-made meals and stuff like that. Yes, it will help you to some degree if you can reorganize your time, if you find your own rhythm, as we were discussing in video number 1. But it's also about a state of being. Busyness is about state of being. And as counterintuitive as it might feel and sound, crucial is to create that spaciousness that it's so easy to say we don't have. There's this saying that says, how long should I meditate? And the answer is 20 minutes. But if you're super busy, then 2 hours, right? But this is such misconception out there, when especially for us who are also busy moms, the easy fix and victim blaming and shaming in certain degree is, oh, then just take the Sunday and create a crockpot meal and freeze it for the week, and you're going to save your time, and all these well-meaning tips, but they're not solving the problem. Yes, we have a systemic issue. We have an issue of invisible labor. We have an issue of pay gap. We have an issue of unproportionate distribution of responsibilities. And all of those are to a degree external, but what can we do internally when things are falling apart, when we feel like we're just rushing through the day, making sure everybody else is on schedule, but then one day you wake up and you're like, this is not the life that I envisioned. This is not the life that I want to live. This is not the life that carries out my soul's mission. What in the world? It starts within. It starts with you. It's inner work, which brings me to the second obstacles. And I remember being there myself quite a few times. Fear. One thing is knowing that you have the power to make a change. Another thing is to actually see it through, or making this initial decision and saying, yes, okay, we're doing this, awesome. But when the rubber meets the road and the shit hits the fan the next day, and seeing it through on a daily basis, when you have to continuously show up in that courage, now things are getting tricky. And when all those bedazzled hooks of old habits, of old commitments, of old perceptions, of old mindset programming, belief systems keep pulling you back to what was, yeah, you know, it was comfortable until it wasn't. That's where it really starts getting serious, because you now are tested. Do you really want this thing you said you wanted? And how badly do you want it? Are you willing to walk through the fires? Are you willing to face your fears? Are you willing to see things from a different perspective? Are you willing, open, and available to start redirecting and reframing and reimagining, right? Again, coming back to the inner work. And this courage is such an interesting thing, you know. Oftentimes, it's been my experience that when I just did the thing, finally, it turned out that this heavy gray cloud that's been hanging over my shoulders and the weight of that perception, right, was just nothing once I made the first step, once I took the leap. But yes, getting there and committing to the future that you want, that's gonna help you make every next step. But what is the future that you actually want? What are you stepping towards? Why are you trying to be less frazzled and fragmented and less busy? What are you going to do with that free time, with the command of your schedule, with that newfound freedom? Here's number 3, obstacle number 3, lack of clarity. See, clarity, creativity, visioning, all of those things require spaciousness. And the busier that we get, the less capacity we have, right, to envision what it is. And mindful, you know, being mindful of those of us who might not be visionaries with this clear vision that is painted in vivid colors, where you can almost touch it and every single detail is there. I think I was talking in another video, sometimes it's just like a shooting star. It just pops in. So how can you capture that? And how can you hold on to that? And how can you energetically align to that vision, to that knowing, to that calling? So in order to be able to do that, you need to create the spaciousness. You need to create the capacity. And that brings us back to where we started, right? Busyness, reframing, dismantling busyness, and that inner work, in addition to all the external apps and scheduling and outsourcing and automating and you name it, right? I promise I'm going to do actually another video series where I'm going to be talking about specifically about capacity, courage, and clarity. But for this particular video's purpose, clarity will be something that you can attain, and it can be super simple, starting by expanding your mindfulness, starting by just writing things down. Maybe if you're not too keen on writing, another tool that I reach for is simply a phone, a recording app, and when I'm out on a walk, or when I'm driving, sometimes it can be done hands-free, so it can be safe. And just recording the stream of consciousness and just letting things come through, and you will notice the change in your vibratory frequency. That's a surprise here. And you will notice the change in the vibratory frequency of your sound current, what lends, what is getting you closer to where you want to be, and what is aligned, and what stresses you out, what feels heavy, what feels like just putting you, what do you say, a frog in your throat? Is that what it is? An expression in English? Anyway, so to recap, busyness, expanding the capacity, being afraid, working on courage, and lacking of clarity, well, gaining clarity. And gaining clarity, as we're saying, through journaling, and there's some guided journals as well with prompts that jog your memory, jog your imagination, or you can just do a free-flowing, you can do bullet point journaling, whatever feels comfortable for you to get started. It can be audio recording, and then again, spaciousness and meditation. And there's, again, a lot of different kinds of meditation, and you just got to figure out which one works for you. I know it feels like a big ask when you already don't have the time, but my question then becomes, what gives and what's at stake? You know, because this fire in your belly, journeying through life, the funny, interesting, and the most remarkable thing about it is that when you do this work, and when you put yourself out there, and when you show up with a different attitude, and it can be like 1% difference from what you were yesterday, and that 1% shift is going to get you to 180, right, very quickly. Yes, it will affect and impact those around you. And that comes back to the fear also. You know, how many times have you said no to your desires because you knew that once you say yes, there's going to be other things that follow that no longer you're willing to settle for, and you're afraid to hurt those around you, and you're rather start nipping your own wings and, again, compartmentalizing yourself in somebody else's boxes and expectations, right? Which is, again, the topic of this whole series. But the good news is that as you are standing up for what you know is your truth, yes, you'll ruffle some feathers, pieces will fall apart, there are going to be breakthroughs, there are going to be breakdowns before there's going to be breakthrough, as we discussed just yesterday, I believe. But the beautiful gift is that whatever is meant for you to have, to experience, to receive, will stay, and it will re-emerge, and it will rearrange. And not just that, when you actually release and let go of that fear and let go of the busyness, and when you gain that clarity, you're going to open yourself to receiving what comes next, which actually is going to be tomorrow's video, talking about receiving and receiving of many different things. So make sure you catch us tomorrow as well. And for today, I think you have your homework, so to speak, worked out, cut out for you. The question is just, do you really want it? Especially, do you say are you really committed and serious about what you say you want? There you have it. Day number 6. Thank you so much for being here with me for the Unrelatable to Unstoppable series. And again, if you feel this is adding value to you, and if you have somebody in your life that you know would really benefit from hearing these, please share it with them, send them our way, or send us their way, whichever works. If you have questions, let me know. I'll also be announcing live Q&A for day 10. We'll work out the times. So keep that in mind. And if you have questions, yeah, get them ready and I'll be happy to answer them then. Sending you love.